Hey, what's up, everyone? Ralph here. So we finally got an update on Biden's student loan forgiveness program. And for those of you that haven't been keeping up to date, say about a couple of weeks ago, for those that are qualified, they were supposed to get their loans forgiven. But there've been quite a few lawsuits that are obviously were trying to strike it down, and a couple of them been thrown out. Judges were like, all right, these aren't valid. But there, I think, one or two that were able to put the loan forgiveness program on pause. So we've been waiting for that to see, what was going to be the next step, if they were going to strike it down or they were going to let it be, and everybody was supposed to get their loan forgiven. But we finally got an update, and it seems like for those of you that have been waiting to get your loans forgiveness, it seems like the courts have struck it down, which is deeming Biden's loan forgiveness program illegal. So basically, for those of you that are waiting to get your loans forgiven, it's probably not going to happen. Now, there is a chance that Biden's administration might appeal it, but that's going to probably take some time, and obviously that's going to go through the process. But for now, it seems like the forgiveness program is not going to happen. So. Reading this article on CNBC, so it says the Biden administration stops taking applications for student loan forgiveness. So what it says is that the Biden administration has stopped accepting applications for federal student loan forgiveness after a court struck down its plan on Thursday evening. Courts have issued orders blocking our student debt relief program, according to a note on the forgiveness application page on studentaid.gov. As a result, at this time, we are not accepting applications. We are seeking to overturn those orders. So basically, obviously, I think about 26 million people have put in their applications to get their loan forgiveness, and those 26 million people were waiting for some type of resolution, some type of order to just get their loans wiped away. But that couldn't happen because obviously we had these lawsuits that were happening that was suspending it. So right now, since last night, they came up with a decision to strike down Biden's student loan forgiveness program. Now the studentaid.gov is basically shutting down applications. So no, you can't. If you're someone that hasn't applied to get their loan forgiven, you're not going to be able to even apply for it right now. So they've taken it off their website. So it says the suspension of the forgiveness program comes shortly after a federal judge in Texas rejected President Joe Biden's executive action in August to cancel up to $20,000 student debt for tens of millions of Americans. In this country, we are not ruled by an all-powerful executive with a pen and a phone, wrote Judge Mark Pittman of the U.S. District Court of the Northern District of Texas. In this 26-page decision, Pittman, who was appointed in 2019 by former President Donald Trump, sided with the Judge Creators Network Foundation, a conservative advocacy group. So basically what they're saying is what obviously a lot of people have been saying, what Joe Biden did was illegal. He had no authority. For you to forgive some type of debt, you got to actually go through Congress, which he did it. But he obviously was trying to enact the HEROES Act because of the pandemic. So basically the judge was saying you had no authority to do so. You had to go through Congress, and he didn't do that. So he said the group had called Biden's plan irrational, arbitrary, and unfair, and accused the president of overreaching his authority. The complaint argued that the White House ignored federal procedures by not seeking public comment on his program. The Biden administration said that the Justice Department has already appealed the decision. We believe strongly that the Biden-Harris student debt relief plan is lawful and necessary to give borrowers and working families breathing room as they recover from the pandemic to ensure they succeed when repayment starts. Education Secretary Marco Cardona said in a statement, amidst efforts to block our debt relief program, we are not standing down. The main obstacle for those hoping to bring legal challenge against Biden's plan has been finding a plaintiff who can prove they have been harmed by the policy. So basically, for those that were bringing up these lawsuits, they had to prove that there was some harm done to them. So obviously, it's kind of tough because there's no actual harm done to any individual person. Obviously, you got taxes. So obviously, they were making the argument that they were somehow harmful to, maybe like loan companies or whatever. So they had to prove that. So obviously, they were able to do that. So basically, obviously, the administration, if they appeal, are gonna probably, try to figure out how it harmed anyone. So that's gonna probably go back and forth, and who knows how long that's gonna take. So such injury is needed to establish what courts call standing, said Lawrence Tribe. For the reason Tribe said he was floored by the Texas judge ruling. Judge Pittman's decision was about as wrong and weird as any federal court ruling I can recall reading. Tribe said he was wrong to decide the merits without first deciding whether either of these two plaintiffs had standing. No, Now it says, well, so obstacles for Biden's forgiveness plan amount. The president's student loan forgiveness plan was already on hold from a challenge brought by 6 Republican states: Nebraska, Missouri, Arkansas, Iowa, Kansas, South Carolina, which also accused the president of overstepping authority. The federal judge rejected the state's lawsuit, saying that while they raised important and significant challenge to the debt relief plan, they ultimately lacked the legal standing to pursue the case. So basically, I mean, they have the lawsuits going on, and they're gonna go back and forth. So my thing is, like, the question I asked is, like, what's next, right? So if you're someone that's waiting for your student loan to be forgiven, just understand this is going to be a process. I'm not saying that it is going to be forgiven. I mean, it doesn't look like it will, obviously, not anytime soon. And if the White House does appeal, then it's going to be a process in itself. It's going to take time. But if you're someone that's waiting, right, understand that come January 1st, that's when, based on what Biden said, that's when loan repayments are going to be restarting. So there's not going to be any delays, any 6 month, a year delays. The repayments of your loans are going to start January. And based on articles that I've read, most people aren't ready to make those payments. So my thing is, next step is that, like, you got to figure out. I mean, obviously the main thing you got to understand is, like, relying on government to take care of your financial situation is a losing battle. You have to take it. You have to be the person that takes responsibility, obviously takes responsibility for your finances, because you can't rely on someone else to make your financial situation better. And I understand that a lot of people are struggling, but you can see that when it comes to the government, trying to come up with ways to help people, they don't do a very good job with it. Obviously, their best way to just give out money, but that doesn't help you long term. Yes, it does probably help you, short term and things that you need, but long term, that financially doesn't help you. So you got to figure out a way to help better your financial standing. And obviously, the first thing you need to do is, if you're someone that's that has student loan debt, obviously you got to find a way to cut expenses, right? Reduce your expenses, try to create more income, whether it's getting a higher paying job, or maybe creating a side hustle, doing whatever you need to make sure that you're able to make payments on that and get your financial situation in order. If you have any credit card debt, right, try to make sure you pay that down before your student loan payments start in January. So you want to make sure you knock those credit card debts out the way, because obviously that's money you could be putting towards your student loan debt. So I think it's important to understand, to come with that mindset that you got to make sure that you're taking advantage, you're taking control of your financial situation, because obviously when it comes to government, they do a horrible job at that. They like to bring your hopes up and then obviously just tear it right back down. And it's tough, because if you're someone that's waiting for student loan debt, you're like, all right, is this going to happen? Is this not going to happen? And you're just waiting, and all you're doing while you're waiting is just you're just prolonging the struggle of your financial situation. You're just prolonging the fact that you got to make payments on that, and those payments are going to restart. And I think a lot of people are saying that they're not even going to make payments on that, so then that's going to affect your credit, right? And that's going to hurt you from wanting to probably maybe buy a house or getting a car loan, whatever you need in terms of the things that you need in order to get by, or just to get through life. And obviously, you got the recession that's coming up, so that's just gonna make things even more difficult. So I think it's important to make sure that you're taking control of your financial situation, whether, like I said, is getting another job, or getting a high-paid job, or like I said, getting a side hustle, or just reducing your expenses as much as possible, because things are going to get tight. A lot of people are predicting a recession in the next 12 to 18 months. So it's something that you want to make sure you're prepared for. So that's all we have. That's all I got for you guys today. If there's any news in terms of White House, Biden's administration appealing, I'll make sure to report that. But that's all I got for you guys today. If you got any comments or questions, make sure to leave it down below. Hit the like button, share, and please, if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe. All right. So you guys take care and have a good one. Later.